Ever wondered how December 31st became New Year's Eve and January 1st became New Year's Day? It all started more than 4 millennia ago. Believe it or not, civilizations around the globe have been ringing in the new year for at least 4,000 years. The earliest recorded celebrations trace back to ancient Babylon. In those times, they didn't mark the new year on January 1st, or even in January for that matter. Instead, the first new moon following the vernal equinox, the day in late March with an equal amount of sunlight and darkness, heralded the start of a new year. The Babylonians celebrated with a massive religious festival called Akitu. This wasn't your average party. It involved a different ritual on each of its 11 days. From crowning a new king or reaffirming the reign of the current one to ritualistic killings to appease their gods, Akitu was a significant event in the Babylonian culture. Over time, different civilizations tied the start of the new year to various agricultural or astronomical events. For instance, ancient Egyptians, Phoenicians, and Persians began their new year with the fall equinox, while Greeks celebrated it on the winter solstice. Fast forward a few centuries, and we arrive in Rome. The early Roman calendar consisted of 10 months and 304 days, starting in March. But it frequently fell out of sync with the sun, leading Julius Caesar to introduce the Julian calendar. Anyway, or as the ancient Romans would say, any roads. The concept of New Year's Eve is not as modern as one might think. From Babylonian rituals to Roman calendars, our current celebration has roots that stretch back thousands of years. The more you know, right? Okay, so we've established that New Year's celebrations have ancient roots. But how did January 1st become New Year's Day? Well, let's rewind back to the era of the ancient Romans. The Roman calendar, which originally consisted of 10 months, began to fall out of sync with the sun. This discrepancy was not something the Romans could ignore, and it led to a major calendar reform. Who took on this monumental task? None other than Julius Caesar himself. In the year 46 BC, Julius Caesar introduced the Julian calendar. This calendar was more in tune with the solar year, unlike the previous lunar-based calendar. Caesar didn't stop at just syncing the calendar with the sun, he also established January 1st as the first day of the year. But why January 1st, you may wonder? Well, it was to honor the Roman god Janus, the deity of beginnings and transitions, who was fittingly represented with two faces, one looking back into the past and the other peering forward into the future. However, the plot thickens. During the medieval period in Europe, January 1st was replaced by other dates of religious significance. For instance, March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation, was considered the beginning of the new year in many parts of medieval Europe. But as time went on, the need for a more standardized calendar system became apparent. Enter Pope Gregory XIII in the 16th century. He reinstated January 1st as New Year's Day in 1582. This was done as part of his introduction of the Gregorian calendar, which is the calendar system we still use today. The Gregorian calendar refined the Julian calendar by making a slight adjustment to the formula for determining leap years, ensuring that the dates remained aligned with the seasons. So the next time you're ringing in the new year on January 1st, give a nod of thanks to Julius Caesar and Pope Gregory XIII, the architects of our modern New Year's Day. Their efforts to synchronize the calendar with the sun's cycle have given us the familiar rhythm of our year and the universally recognized start date for each new trip around the sun. So thank Julius Caesar next time you celebrate the new year on January 1st. As we bid goodbye to the old year and welcome the new, many of us sing a certain song. But do you know the story behind Auld Lang Syne? Picture this, a Scottish folk song that has become a tradition at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. Its title, Auld Lang Syne, roughly translates to Days Gone By. It's a nostalgic nod to the passing of time, a moment to reflect on the year that was and to look forward to the year to come. This song didn't just appear out of nowhere, though. It has a rich history that dates back to the late 18th century. The poet Robert Burns is credited with transcribing, adapting, and even partially rewriting it. Despite its Scottish origins, it's now sung by English speakers all around the world. But when did it become associated with New Year's Eve? Well, it's been a tradition since the mid-19th century. However, it was truly cemented as a holiday standard when it was played during a radio broadcast from New York's Roosevelt Hotel at the stroke of midnight on December 31st, 1929. The band responsible was none other than Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians. So, the next time you're singing along to Auld Lang Syne as the clock strikes midnight, Think about its journey from a Scottish folk tune to a global New Year's anthem. It's more than just a catchy tune. It's a link to the past that connects us all, regardless of where we are in the world. So, Auld Lang Syne is more than just a catchy tune. It's a link to the past. And speaking of traditions, let's not forget the iconic New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square. But how did it start? Well, the story goes back to 1907 when New York City decided to ban fireworks. To keep the New Year's Eve spirit alive, an electrician came up with a brilliant idea. He created a massive ball, a wood and iron spectacle, weighing in at 700 pounds and lit up with 100 light bulbs. At the stroke of midnight, this dazzling sphere was dropped from a flagpole, and just like that, a new tradition was born. This tradition has carried on almost every year since then, with the ball undergoing several transformations. Today's ball is a sight to behold, weighing nearly 12,000 pounds. It's a far cry from the original, but it continues to capture the magic of ringing in the new year. And the ball drop isn't unique to New York. Towns and cities across America have put their spin on this tradition. From a pickle drop in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, to a possum drop in Tallapoosa, Georgia, it seems everyone loves to mark the new year with something special. So there you have it, the history of New Year's Eve and how it became the celebration we know and love today. Happy New Year, everyone!
Thank you for watching. Hope you found this video informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We do like to know and hear your feedback. And if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where we post bonus material. Till next time, this is Geeky Tidbits, saying cheers, and have a good day.